Okay, so here's a frame rack. Hangs on the side of your hive. Just hangs right on whatever box you're working on. And then when you pull your frame, you can hang it on the side. So pull it out. If it's just empty, you can hang it on the side. You do that with the second one. Okay, same thing. They make this little device called a frame grip. Makes it easier to grab your frames and pull them out. Once you get it out, I recommend grabbing it with your hands. Okay, be careful, there's going to be bees all over it. But you don't want to be holding this, especially when it's full of honey. You go to tip it, it's going to be heavy and it'll pop and fall right out. Bees do not like it when you drop the frames. Okay, so these are nice to have, but don't try and inspect with it because it doesn't get a good enough grip on it. So you can get them out, then hold it with two hands, one on each side. Okay, hold it up. You're going to want to look for different things inside the frame. You're looking for eggs, looking for brood, cap brood, honey, just all kinds of different things you're looking for. Some people like to look for the queen, find the queen. If you see eggs, you know there's a queen there somewhere. But she's hard to find. It takes a little bit of trial and error before you really find her. Hold it. When you flip it over, just turn it this way. Look at the other side. Okay? I don't recommend going around because you're going to more likely drop it that way. And then also you don't remember, oh, which side was the brood on. And if it was on this side, and you flip it over and then now it's on this side, and there's other brood over here, they might get chilled and die. So you just got to make sure you keep them in the same. So once you've got it, you flip it over, you look at it, put it in your rack out here, and then you've got plenty of room for the third one. Do the same thing, check for stuff, and then you can put it back in the hive, slide it to this edge. That gives you plenty of room to pull these apart. If you're trying to do it inside the hive every time, we're covered with bees, there's not a lot of space between those frames. And as you pull them out, the bees roll on top of each other, they get stuck in the honey, you're squishing them. So it's best to have it where you can move them over, pull it up, and then you have that much space that you're working with, you're not squishing bees every time. That first one's always the hardest to get out. Just work your way across the hive, look for everything, and then when you're done, slide everything back over, put it all back in the same order you got them back out. You're done there. You want to go down to the next box. You pry that off, lift it up, set it on its side, like this.
That's going to be 100 pounds?
Short side, it can be. Okay. You're not moving it real far, but usually brood's not as heavy as the honey. The honey supers are what's going to be really heavy because their honey's heavier.
But they're on top, so I get down to this stage, you've got to lift them.
Yeah, sooner or later you're going to have to lift them and move them around a little bit. If you have trouble, have somebody help you. You can also take them out and put them into another box and then move them back if you need to do that.
I'm going to steal your torch.
Oh, okay. Can you do some branding? Yeah. Okay, everybody, when you leave the class, we have to brand you. That's the real tough part about beekeeping is the roundup every year where you have to round up all the bees and brand everyone.
If you have another base, couldn't you just set your brood box on top of the other base while you're working them rather than tipping them up?
Yeah, you can do that too. You can use your inner cover, have it sitting there, and then set your hive on top of that. You just don't want to set it right down on the grass because it's going to be sticky and everything's going to stick on it. You know, if you've got wood chips or something down there, everything's going to stick to the bottom of that. I like to set it sideways. You want to set it on the short side, not the long side. If you set it this way, all the flames collapse on top of each other. And you just squished all those bees that are in there. So if you're going to set it sideways, you got to set it this way so that they stay uniform and not squish each other. Okay? Then you're going to go down, do the same thing with that bottom box. Inspect everything, look for different stuff. Here, this picture I'll pass around shows a picture of an egg. In fact, I probably got one right here. We're going to go through. You're going to see the wax. Here's the queen here. This is a marked queen. All the queens we're buying in packages this year are marked. Will have a green dot on them this year, or it's blue this year. Green was last year. So this year they will have a blue dot on the back, right on their back. This one's got a little bit more than normal. The ink pen ran around, I guess. But when you first start, the wax is going to be really pretty and white. But you're going to want to look through. This is a carnelian queen. She's darker color. But you're going to watch for that. You're going to start pulling out. You're going to see this in there. This is capped honey. Okay. Down here is just honey that isn't finished yet. So you'll see different stages of the honey. This is where I went through. Pry everything apart. Put everything back. Holding it up. You know, hold it that way. Flip it over. Look at the other side. Look, observe the bees. Pay attention to what you're seeing. Don't just look for the queen. Most first-year beekeepers, I get calls, oh, I can't find the queen, I can't find the queen, there's no queen. She's really hard to find. We do a thing on Facebook every once in a while, if you follow us on that, where we'll put up a picture that says find the queen. And you can go through and see if you can find the queen on it. What you need to look for mostly is eggs. If you find eggs, you know there's a queen in there. And they are hard to find. If you look right over there, it's just a little teeny grain of rice on the bottom of that cell. So if you're going to look down here, this is what you're looking for, that little white speck down there. Hard to find. As they get older, they stay eggs for 3 days. They will then hatch into a little larvae, and you can see on this picture, I can pass this around and you can see a little closer, the different stages, all the way up to about 8 to 9 days. They cap it off with the fabric type capping, and the bee is a little cocoon, grows inside of there, and then at 21 days it will hatch out, crawl out of there, and become a worker bee. So you're going to watch for that. Look for all those kind of things. Look and see, you know, sometimes it's nice to have two hives so you can compare. One's doing something weird, why isn't this other one doing it? Maybe there's something wrong there. There's going to be a lot of different things happening. Just watch, and you'll see lots of stuff. After your first inspection, you're going to want to inspect less frequently. I recommend at least twice a month going into your hive, 2 to 3 times a month. So first year beekeeper, you're going to want to be in there a lot more than that, and it's okay. Just enjoy your bees and get to know them, and you'll have a good time with that. After a while, you know, you're not going to need to get in there as often. Just watch them. Give the bees some time; they will not disappoint you. Visit to the hive once a week in the beginning is a good start. This gives the bees time to do their work, and you will give something new to look at. You'll start noticing the brood changing from eggs to larvae and taking on the shape of small bees, finally being capped off and then emerging as a new bee. You will also notice the queen. It's typical for a frame to have an arched pattern, so usually the neck or the brood is an arch. The corners, like here, are not filled in, so she'll arch, and the corners usually will have honey in it. The rest is going to be brood, and you'll be able to see that. If you have a real spotty brood pattern, there's a patch of brood here, a whole bunch of nothing, and then another patch. There could